The fear of death is one that many people share, but I myself don't personally understand. Death indeed can be a tragedy in the case of losing someone, but one's own personal death is what is necessary, at least in my eyes, for any other part of your life to have any meaning henceforth, in retrospect. You would have no ambition to do anything if you never could die. Death allows you to enjoy life. You only do live once, at least from the understanding that we have as a species, ignoring spirituality and religion, because those are not objective sources. What we objectively know about death is that, at least for all intents and purposes, when you die, you are dead. I don't remember when I first started thinking about death the way I do, but I know how I can see both sides of it. I do agree that it can be tragic, and I do agree that it can be beautiful. Because a few years ago, my great-grandmother died, and she was basically a second mother to me. She was the age of a regular grandma to most people, all things considered. She was in her 70s, and she died as a result of COVID. Going through that, obviously, greatly changed me as a human being. It changed how I looked at everything in life. But it didn't make me scared of death. Whenever she was in the hospital dying, it was almost cathartic because I don't have to worry about her going anymore because she's already going. There's no need to worry anymore. It's a release of stress and anxiety that you may feel surrounding death. And once again, I'll reiterate, I do understand the fear of death to an extent. I get it. You're not here anymore. It's the end. But I think it's beautiful because you're not here anymore. And it's the end. It's all over. It's the final chapter. It's the last sentence of your story. Death gives living a purpose. I think a good way to understand my view on death is to understand my view on immortality. I think immortality would be the greatest curse imaginable. You would see all your friends die, all your family die, your loved ones die. If you had kids, your kids die. You'd see their kids die, and their kids die. You'd see your colleagues die. You'd see the world slowly die. And eventually you'd see the entire world die. You'd see the solar system die. You'd see everything perish. By being immortal, you would have a much greater fear of death than being mortal, because when you're mortal, it's a fact. When you're immortal, it's a state of which everything else can be except for you. And in that case, in the case of immortality, death is terrifying. But in the case of mortality, death is beautiful. Those are just some thoughts from me. Have a good night.